Now, we always pass along great financial tips that you can use to manage your money portfolio. Recently, I caught up with financial advisor and good friend JB Bryan about managing your investments in a post COVID market. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Here's that conversation. It's never too late to start a money portfolio that includes stocks and bonds. Top Richmond financial investor JB Bryan is here, has and 5 key financial tips for us to manage your investments. And we welcome her back to Virginia this morning. Good morning. It is wonderful to see you.
It is fantastic to see you. I mean, it always is. And you are so right. This is the time to think about what you're doing with your money. The market is reaching new record highs on some days.
Some days.
So here's some key things I want us to think about before we get too emotional. One thing, Bill, is we have to ask ourselves, do you know how much money you can afford to lose? And for most of us, it's what? Zero, right? You don't want
Well,
to
wait a minute.
lose.
Hold on, JB. So this is, and this kind of goes with something I've always kind of felt about the
Right.
stock market. It's the same rule you use when you go in a casino.
That's right.
How much can I
Only put
lose?
in. Ooh, very good analogy.
Yeah.
But look, I believe, of course, that the stock market, you can make some much better decisions based on research and historical performance versus when you're going in a casino, you don't know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So, but definitely when you're talking about a volatile market, it's important to think about how much of a drop in your money can you stomach. So first think about how much can you afford to lose? Are you happy with your portfolio? What changes do you need to make? What do you need to make sure that you're positioned to hold on to?
Okay.
And a second point that I want to share with you, Bill, is that I hear this all the time, and they say that it's time in the market over timing the market. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I have from you. And
That's right. That's right.
but
That's
it's a
right.
long-term kind of thing, isn't it?
That's right. And you have to spend time in the market to really benefit from it. So many times we think that we can pull money out right on time and put money right back in right on time, but based on research, it usually doesn't work out for you that way. So the investor that invests consistently over their career over the long term ends up with more hair because they're not as stressed out, right? Because they're consistently buying into the market over the long term. So don't try to time the market. No matter how much you feel like you can, try to spend as much time in the market as possible.
Okay. All right. Diversity within your asset class. Put that in English for
That's
us.
right. Right? Well, like a lot of times we think that if you have a whole bunch of different stocks, then you're actually diversified. But if you are diversified just within the stock market, just within equities, you will hear that term a lot. That's an ownership of companies, then you're only in that specific asset class. So be sure to, if you're a small investor, especially look into things like exchange traded funds that will allow you to reduce your expenses and also have broad diversification within that asset class that maybe as a small investor you would not be able to do because of the limited amount of funds that you have.
Okay.
But let me share that you have to do diversifying across asset class is important too.
Okay. So keep both of those in mind. And that's why
Yes,
we have a friend like JB Bryan to help us
that's right.
with that.
That's
All right.
right.
And of course,
That's
the
right.
reason you're doing this is to make money. And if you make
That's right.
money in our country, you
That's
have to
right.
think about your uncle because he's thinking about you. So
My
work those
uncle.
in as well, right?
I don't have an uncle named Sam. I'm just joking. Yes, we do.
Oh, yes, you do.
Exactly. I know that's right. So we do have to make a plan, and that plan has to include taxes. So if I'm telling you that you need to diversify, and then you need to diversify across asset classes, and you decide you want to sell your stocks and then you want to buy some bonds because it's in a different asset class, well, you may incur some taxes in there. So as you're doing your financial plan, which is very important as we're moving out of this COVID experience, have the financial plan, but your plan must include the taxation of your assets and your investments and the changes that you're considering. How will they impact your pocket? And look at the advantages of retirement accounts and the tax deferred and possibly tax free growth of the different types of retirement accounts that are out there. So investigate and plan.
All right. Thank you, JB.
Thank
Always
you.
great advice. And of course, Uncle Sam, it's not just Santa Claus watching you this time of year. And by the way,
No,
happy holidays to my friends at the IRS. Big thank you to
that's right.
JB Bryan. Offers free weekly money seminars and webinars every Wednesday evening and Sunday morning. You can find a link for more information at WTVR.com/VTM. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.